To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Buzbee, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Buzbee targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Buzbee want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
So I'm sure that most of us have heard about the Shannon Sharpe situation. In case you have not, he was accused of you-know-what-ing a white woman, right? I made a video about that already. I'll put the link to it up here. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to make a follow-up video because I learned a little bit more information about the subject. And Shannon Sharpe also made a public statement that I think was kind of funny. Now, in my initial video, I pointed out how, for the most part, when a woman accuses a man of something like this, I believe her, because men do stuff like this to women all over the world. It doesn't matter where you're from, or what background you are, what race you are, your ethnic, whatever. None of that matters. Men rape women, okay? Now, this is the thing. Whenever you point out, oh, wow, like, most women have an experience like this with a man, right? Somehow every man is like, what? But I never did it, and no man I knows ever did it. Like, the math never maths, right? So it is important to point out to men that rape and sexual assault and stuff doesn't always look like you tackling a woman you don't know in a dark alleyway, right? And that's how a lot of men distance themselves from this, right? Sometimes it's, coercing a woman into something she doesn't want to do. Sometimes it's touching a woman inappropriately. Sometimes it's you're in a relationship and you don't believe that, you can rape your girlfriend or wife or whatever, so she doesn't consent to sex and you force yourself on her anyway, right? It can look many different ways, okay? Now, that being said, like I said, this is why I said normally when a woman accuses a man of something like this, I'm going to believe her. But the exception for me is when a white woman accuses a black man of something, because 99% of the time, probably 100, right? When a white woman accuses a black man of something like this, is not true. Like, they just be lying. That's they cultural thing. Look at what Carolyn Bryant did to Emmett Till. That's just kind of their legacy, like, realistically, right? Now, since recording my first video, I learned that the white girl in question, right, she was 19 when her and Shannon Sharpe started messing with each other, okay? And he was 50-something. Y'all, okay, now look, I made a video on YouTube years ago, and I'll put the link to it up here because I never deleted it, right? It's called something like, if you're 24 dating a 19-year-old, you're one step above being a pedophile, right? And it's crazy because when I recorded that video, I was 24, right? I made sure to point that out because a lot of folks were in the comments, oh, you're just mad because you're past your prime. I'm 24, like what? A 24-year-old is past their prime? What are you talking about, right? But anyway, when I made that video, it's wild because, especially back then, I had a lot of controversial takes. A lot of people disagree with a lot of the stuff that I said because I said it very rudely, right? But this was the one thing I was like, oh yeah, everybody's going to agree with this. Like, come on, like 24 dating a 19-year-old, everybody's going to agree that this is weird, right? So when I tell you all, I was like gobsmacked at the response that video got. That was one of my most disliked videos. Like, I can't remember the percentage, right? Because YouTube shows you, oh, you got 99% thumbs up, 1% thumbs down. They don't show the thumbs up and thumbs down to the public anymore, but you can still see that in your studio, right? That is one of my most disliked videos. And the comments are flooded with people like, oh, I'm 30 and I'm dating an 18-year-old and we love each other. Like, y'all, it's wild. I have talked about stuff like this on a number of occasions, right? And mind you, whenever I make these videos or bring up these discussions, I'm talking about people in their like deep 20s, mid or deep 20s, not people in their 50s, but we're going to get to that later, right? But I've spoken about how, like, even when I was in college, right? Like, when I was like 20, 21 years old, I remember thinking I would never date a college freshman. Like, you just getting out of high school. Like, there was so much growing that I did in those first few years of college. And this is the thing that I want to point out. I didn't do this growing because I went off to college, right? I didn't do this growing because I started working and taking care of myself. That's not what it was about, right? Because a lot of people will say, oh yeah, well, I have my own job and I drive. So even though I'm 16, I'm just as mature as somebody 19 years old in college. And it's like, I mean, like, yeah, you might have your own job and drive like somebody who's 19, 20 years old in college, right? But that's not what makes you grown. like you just a little kid with a car and a job, right? Because again, I want to stress that I'm not saying that there is such a difference in growth because of these societal markers of adulthood. Oh, you can buy a lottery ticket now, you can buy liquor, you can whatever, right? So now you're grown, you're so much different than a 16-year-old. That's not what I'm saying, right? It's not the difference in responsibility or whatever, even though, yes, I'm sure that does play a role in it, because we'll talk more about that when we get to that 50-year-old too. But it's really something in your brain. Like, I'm not even joking. When I was about like 25, I feel like something in my brain just clicked. I'm not even joking. And then it happened again like a couple years later when I was like 27, like, I don't think 28, because I'm 28 now, right? But something in my brain, it was a puzzle, right? And one of the pieces was sticking out, and then it just finally clicked into place. I can't even begin to explain to y'all how much you change. Like, oh my goodness. So I can't imagine how much I'm going to change between now and my 30s and my 40s and my 50s, right? That being said, I've always thought it was very weird when people are in their deep 20s, in their 30s, messing with somebody who's still a teenager. And then they'll defend it by saying, oh, well, it's not illegal. Well, 18 is legal, so it's not illegal or anything. And it's like, yeah, it's not illegal, but it's still weird as fuck, right? All of that being said, Shannon Sharpe is a nasty motherfucker for being 50-something, messing with a 19-year-old. And can't nobody convince me that is not predatory. A 19-year-old, seriously? Like, let's be realistic. You 50-something years old. I don't know how much money he has. He getting sued for $50 million. I'm assuming you got money, right? You have access to women. You could meet women in your age range who are attractive, in good shape, so and so, yada, yada, yada. And you chose a fucking 19-year-old? Like, first of all, what do you have in common with a 19-year-old? Like, literally, what? Like, she's young enough to be your kid. Literally. Like, that shit is wild. And then my thing is this, right? Okay, at a certain point, some age gaps get less weird. Like, a 10-year age gap between a 20-year-old and a 30-year-old, that's like, fuck no, right? But between a 50-year-old and a 60-year-old, okay, that makes sense, right? Like, that's completely different, right? But it ain't no way that a motherfucker being old enough to be your daddy is ever not going to be weird. Like, what the hell? Now, I said all that to say Shannon Sharpe is a predator, because why was you 50-something years old messing with a 19-year-old? Like, but whatever, right? Now that I know that she was 19 and he was 50-something, I will say he probably did prey on her, because that is why older men get with younger girls, right? And it's crazy because when women say this, men try to be like, oh, well, you just jealous because we want them younger girls. You just trying to get them to not want us. That's not why any woman is saying this. We're saying this because you actually are a predator. You choosing to prey on little ass girls for a reason, because they don't know shit. They don't know no better. And you trying to do who knows what to them, right? So he probably did do something to her, right? Because again, that's why those men go after those young girls, right? But I will say this. Multiple things can be true at the same time, okay? Because something else that is also true is that white women are manipulative. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a black woman and I got a vendetta out against Becca. Oh, she just mad because Becca stole her man. That's not where this is coming from, right? And I've said before, low-key, black women could learn something from manipulative white women. Oh my goodness, let me tell y'all, I was talking to this older woman, right? She, I don't know how old she was. She might have been like in her, like early 50s or something, right? But she was a white woman, right? And she told me, oh yeah, I just got a divorce. So I said, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. And she said, oh no, don't worry about it. I wanted to divorce him. She said something crazy like 17 years ago when he cheated on me. But I stuck it out. I stayed with him long enough so that I'd be entitled to full alimony benefits or whatever. So now he's paying me hella every month because I was married to him for so long. And I was like, wow. I said, golly gee willikers, girl, I got some lessons to learn from you. White women in general are very, very calculating. And that's how they always manage to be the victim in every situation. Like, they can be the number one aggressor, right? But they will still manage to somehow come out as the victim because they are calculating, right? So I do believe that Shannon Sharpe probably did prey on this girl. Because, I mean, like, what other reason would you have to be 50-something going after a 19-year-old? Like, be fucking for real, right? But I also believe that white women are calculating. So I think that this girl, she preyed on him too, right? Because didn't she like randomly record some of their conversations and stuff? Like, come on, y'all. It's giving like she went into this knowing, yeah, I'm a say he did this, that. So let me set this shit up so that like I got this proof and, I win this case or whatever, right? It's definitely giving that. I've said before, white people are not stupid at all. They may act stupid, but they really are not, right? So I don't doubt for a second that Becky realized that there are some black men who worship white women. That is a thing, right? Now, I'm not going to sit here and say all or even the majority, but it's a common enough occurrence, right? She recognized that. She realized that she could use that as a way to get over. Because, let's be for real. Put yourself in Becky's shoes. If I was a 19-year-old white girl and I knew how thirsty some black men could be for white women, do y'all really think that I would not get over on these niggas? Because, if you think that, then you really think highly of me. Because when I tell you, oh, bitch, I would have been getting over. Come on now. Now, this is the last thing that I want to point out, because in this video, Shannon Sharpe was talking about, yeah, they're targeting me because I'm a black man, so and so and so. And I'm confused because you knew you were a black man in a system of white supremacy before you went chasing after white girls. You knew that, right? But you did it anyway. Right? And now that this white girl has done what white girls do to black men, now you want to sit here and talk about, I'm a black man, and they're trying to this, that, me, so and so, because I'm a black man. You knew your role in this system of white supremacy. And I'm confused on why that did not change your actions at all in any capacity. And honestly, it feels like sometimes some black people are okay with the system of white supremacy as long as they feel like it's not directly affecting them. And let me explain what I mean by that. Now, I'm not telling nobody that they can't date interracially or nothing, because y'all finna be in the comments, Flower Tower, why are you worried about who we date? Do whatever you want to do. Have fun. Don't nobody care. And when you're on here making your video, they're targeting me because I'm a black man. Well, okay. Well, good luck, buddy. But my point is this, though, right? Shannon Sharpe acknowledges that he's being targeted because he's a black man. This little white girl is trying to paint some sort of image, concerning what happened between them. And the lawyer, I'm assuming that was the lawyer's name he mentioned, who's going to post some video or whatever, right, is targeting him because he's a black man. And it's like, this has happened a million times before. Like, come on, this just happened to Telbo Rackins. This just happened to Tobio Bumselli. Those are just the two names off the top of my head that I made videos on YouTube, right? This has been happening for generation after generation after generation. White women have used their role in white supremacy to destroy black men. You knew that before you started chasing after her, but you didn't care. As long as it only happened to other black men or other black people, period. Because, of course, this system affects black women in different ways, right? But, of course, we just talking about the black man, white woman situationship right now, right? You figured as long as it only happened to other black men, you were cool with it, right? You were cool with the system of white supremacy as long as you felt that it did not impact you directly. So you went chasing after white bitches, and look at what it got you. Now, I have to ask, was it worth it? Like, this is my thing, y'all. This is my thing, y'all. In those texts between Shannon Sharpe and Becky, they were saying some weird ass racist shit. Like, Becky was like, "Oh, put a big black baby in me." Like, what the hell? Like, I'm sorry, but I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get how as a black person you can grow up in this white supremacist system and want to do some shit like that with a white person. Like, you know what I'm saying? Okay, even if you happen to meet a white person you like, okay, love is love, buddy, right? Why would you let a white person say some weird ass shit like that? Or that weird shit y'all do, y'all call it race play, where I don't even want to know what y'all be doing. I don't know if y'all be acting like slaves or what. Like, I don't know. But like, I just don't get it. As a black person, why would you like, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. And it's like, okay, as a black man, you understood the risk. You understood the risk. You seen this happen to countless black men before you. And you were like, yeah, that's okay, because I want a snow bunny. It's like, I swear, some black people just completely worship white people. I'm not even joking. Some black people are so totally enamored with white people that it just doesn't make any sense. You were willing to put everything on the line. Everything on the line. Because mind you, you've seen this happen to a million black men before you. And look, Shannon Sharpe is not no spring chicken. Okay, he got to be, well, I mean, I said he was 55, pushing 60 or something, right? This nigga's damn near 60 years old, right? Damn near old as the civil rights movement. So who knows when his parents and grandparents were born? You know what black people have gone through and what we continue to go through in this country. And you were like, you know what? I'm going to put it all on the line. It's worth it. For a white bitch, and then an ugly white bitch at that. Like, you couldn't even get the baddest white bitch in the world. The bitch face hard as fuck. Like, let's be fucking for real. This is not a cute bitch, right? You did all that simply for whiteness. That's really what it was about. That's really what it was about. Because this is my thing, y'all. This is my thing. Like I said, there's like a very loud minority of black men who be like, oh yeah, black women, like, you gotta be a size 0 dress, you can't have no kids, so and so and so, yada yada yada. We get not snow bunnies, so and so and so, right? So they'll have all these requirements for black women, but then turn around and they'll be with the first big nasty ass white bitch with 12 baby daddies that they come across. So clearly your issues was not actually, being fit or not having kids or whatever. Your issue was simply with blackness, right? Because you worship whiteness. And instead of saying that, you try to push it off onto black women and make it into something it's not. But let's be for real, right? And I don't know if Shannon Sharpe has ever been on that, right? But, I mean, what he's doing comes from the same worshiping of whiteness. You were willing to put everything on the line for the most mediocre white bitch you could find. That is so very telling.